Here it is, the full review on the S24, the regular guy, the everyman S24 series phone that doesn't cost $12.99. It's only $7.99. Only, yes, I know it's still expensive, but it does have a lot of benefits. It is a flagship level phone. Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. It has the Samsung AI features, all that cool stuff that everybody's really loved and appreciated since the S24 series phones came out. And one thing that I really love about this phone is there's so few compromises. I really love this thing. Like, it's really hard for me to imagine going back to the S24 Ultra. And you're probably thinking, Adam, Tech Odyssey, I know you're crazy, but this sounds even crazy for you. And the thing is, I just haven't really noticed that much of a difference. I mean, yes, it doesn't have the S Pen, which, I mean, that is a big thing for the Ultra. It doesn't have the 200 megapixel camera. It doesn't have the titanium, doesn't have the Victus armor, blah, blah, blah. But it has the same quality screen finally. We're not stuck with an LTPS. We're not stuck with the higher battery drain because of the lack of availability to throttle down to 1 hertz. This one does 120 hertz at 1080p. Throttles all the way down to 1 hertz if it's needed. It can go all the way up to 120 hertz. Now, a couple things you might not like. The base model is 128 gigabytes of storage. Here in the US, you can get the 128 or you can get the 256. You might want to get the 256. And also the 256 comes with the UFS storage 4.0, which is a little bit faster. It's a little bit better on battery. It's more efficient. But I got to tell you, I've got the S24 Ultra. It has UFS 4 in it. I don't really notice much of a difference at all. It's probably more of just like a battery savings thing. But really, the battery life on this has been excellent. It lasts me all day long. And that's one of the trade-offs that I've always gone for a bigger phone over the years. Bigger phones have bigger batteries. They have overall better battery life because it has more juice. Well, this has a 4,000 milliamp battery. That's perfectly fine with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 because it's so power efficient, and of course it learns your routines, things like that. You get the adaptive battery that kicks in about 5 or 6 days of continual daily use of the phone, learns your routines, all those great things. So it lasts me all day long. So I've been really happy about that. The S22 before, battery life was atrocious. I got like 3.5 hours. It really bumped up with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, but last year with the S23, there were still too many compromises for me to consider carrying that around as a daily driver. So this one, you get 25 watt charging, which 4,000 milliamp battery, it charges from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. So that's not the end of the world, but I don't worry so much about the charging speed whenever the phone actually lasts all day long. And that's the important thing. It'll last you all day long, pretty much whatever you're doing. I mean, if you're doing some intensive gaming, that's going to bring the battery down faster. And there are a lot of attractive games out there to play now. I got to tell you, the new Warzone on mobile is fantastic. It's basically 100% what Verdansk was with the first season or so of Call of Duty Warzone. So I've really missed that. I've been playing it with the Backbone controller. This phone pairs so well with the Backbone controller, plus it's got stereo speakers, all that stuff. So it's actually a really good gaming phone. I mean, it doesn't have as big of a screen. It's lighter, it's more compact, it's easier to hold, it's easier to fit in these controller apparatuses. So yeah, if you're a gamer, you're not really missing out on much. And because it has that beautiful LTPO, it gets super bright. It has a 2600 nits of brightness, which you're going to notice when you go outside. Now, one thing I will say about these phones, when you have them on manual brightness and you put it on 100%, it doesn't look super bright when you go outside. But if you kick over to adaptive brightness and you're outside, it'll throttle all the way up to 2600 nits. It's super bright, super beautiful. So 4,000 milliamp battery, 6.2 inch screen. It's 1080p, and I don't really have any hangups over that because it's a smaller screen. You're not really going to notice that whole pixel density thing. It's not going to look pixelated. The quality is going to basically look as good as it does on the S24 Ultra. So that's the thing. It's just such a good phone now. You've got the same screen. You've got good cameras. You've got a good selfie camera. It's got a 12 megapixel selfie camera. It does 4K 60 video on the front. The rear camera shoots in HDR10+, and it also shoots at 8K. You can do 8K at 20 frames per second, or 24 frames per second. That's nice. And I believe it even does 30. Let me double check. There's only so much I can remember off the top of my head, but I think it might do 8K at 30 frames per second. Yep, 8K at 30 frames per second. So you're not even missing out on a lot there as opposed to the S24 Ultra. Now, you still got DeX, you've got wireless DeX, you've got wireless charging, you've got reverse wireless charging, Bluetooth 5.3. It has all the bells and whistles that you would expect in a flagship phone. in a more compact size. And I know I'm going to get questions in the comment section. This is the Spigen Liquid Air case, and it's under 20 bucks. I use this on so many of my different phones. I actually made a video recently showing off this case and the screen protector. I use an AM film glass screen protector. Works great. Even works with the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. No problems there. It has facial recognition. It works great with that. And the screen protector, it's also nice. It has a cutout around the camera there, so you don't have to worry about it getting smudged and blurry and having trouble reading things. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's got the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, got those AI features, circle to search, live translate. It's got the interpreter on there. It's got all sorts of different things that you can really enjoy using, especially if you install like Gemini AI on here. That works on here as well too, which is basically it used to be Bard with Google, and now they're all in with like this whole Gemini AI thing. So I like it. And even the cameras are good. It's got 3 cameras on the back. It's got a 50 megapixel primary camera. I know we've been using the same cameras for a while now, but they're pretty tuned in and dialed in, and they're about as optimized as they're going to get. I fully expect with the S25, we'll probably go ahead and finally see a new camera. But these work so good. Like, I don't really have any complaints. I've taken lots of photos. Go ahead and we'll look at these photos here. I went to the zoo, saw the little like Jurassic Park exhibit, saw some other stuff, and it's got the 3x optical zoom, so you can like reach out and touch stuff even whenever you're zooming in. I know it's not as good as the zoom that you get with the S24 Ultra, but I think it's quite capable. You still have the ultra wide camera as well too. So you've got everything that you want there to take some really capable photos. It's got good nighttime photos as well. And overall, especially with like the portrait video, you got the portrait shots in there. You can record a video with the front and the back camera at the same time. Samsung really has done a lot of things with Android and with their version of Android, of course, One UI. And with the optimizations we have, the computational photography, all that stuff working together with the image signal processor and the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, I think you're going to be really happy with it. And that's pretty much my thought process around the board. You're going to be really happy with this phone, and you're going to be happy you didn't pay $1,299. Now, yeah, there are trade-offs. Like I said, there's no titanium in the body. You don't have the Gorilla Glass Victus armor or whatever it's called, but it has Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which is perfectly fine. But you're going to hear this from me in so many videos. Put a screen protector on it. Put a case on it, especially if you don't have the insurance, because you really don't want to risk messing it up. But overall, yeah, there's just not a whole lot of trade-offs anymore. Yeah, you don't get the S Pen, you don't get the 200 megapixel camera, but a lot of people aren't even that crazy about the 200 megapixel camera. And then when you look at even further, how many people are actually doing 100 times zoom photos and stuff, right? I mean, it's cool, it's a novelty, it's a nice thing you can do, but a lot of people have even been complaining about that because you now have the 5 times telescopic telephoto on here instead of the 10 times, so it doesn't have the same technical capability for the zoom, but it does have a large sensor with a lot of pixels and all those things. So I've really enjoyed this phone. I've had a blast with it, and I like that it's so easy to use one-handed. The typing experience is good. The haptics are good on it. It's super light, and the battery lasts all day. So those are a lot of the trade-offs that I didn't want to go up for. When you had the S23, when you had the S22, the screen wasn't as good, wasn't as nice, not the same level of quality, not even the same type of screen. The battery life wasn't as good, and it just had some other trade-offs that I wasn't really all that happy with. And now, the way that they've gone after it and they've attacked the S24, the S24 Plus. The S24 Plus is fantastic, by the way. Like, if you want the bigger phone at a lower price tag at $999 and you don't care about the stylus, then it's a really, really good alternative to the S24 Ultra. But some people like these normal size phones, like me. I don't necessarily, I've got the big gigantic phones over the years because you basically have to. Before, it's like you needed to get the Ultra. You needed that 5,000 milliamp battery. And they just had so many trade-offs where it's like, if you don't get the Ultra, then you really will have a noticeable downgrade in camera. You will have a noticeable downgrade in experience. You will have a noticeable downgrade in like the screen quality and all that stuff. So they've basically eliminated all those things that I really didn't like about getting the smaller phones before. And you save like $500 because you're looking at $799 versus $1299. And I talked about this the other day. I really love the iPhone 15 Pro, but the battery life was atrocious. Like, it was dismally bad. So I went ahead and I stuck with the 15 Pro Max, but I don't like it. I don't like how heavy it is. I don't like how big it is. And that's the thing with the Ultra. Like, I like the benefits. I like having the stylus, but I haven't even missed using the stylus that much. Mostly, I just use the stylus when I'm like doing editing stuff on my phone, when I'm making my thumbnails and stuff like that. But I've even been making thumbnails on this, even with the smaller screen, even without the stylus, for the last 2 weeks. And I really haven't noticed that much of a trade-off. And I just don't miss not having the stylus that much. So it's going to be hard for me to put my SIM card back in the Ultra because I've really enjoyed using the S24 so much. And for all my daily driver needs, like, it meets them. It just checks pretty much all the boxes. So yeah, I'm going to make a comparison video very soon with the S24 Ultra and the S24 for people out there who are trying to make a buying decision. But if you watch this video, I like this one. Like, I like it a lot. And there's a lot of different colors too. There's like tons of different colors, especially if you go through Samsung. They got a lot of exclusive colors. I really like the way this one looks. It's sharp. I just wish it had more than 128 gigabytes of storage. Now, it's funny. T-Mobile sent this out to me through Samsung, which is interesting. It wasn't Samsung sending it. T-Mobile reached out to Samsung and got my contact information and asked if they could send it to me. So it was nice not having to buy this one. But yeah, those are kind of, if I were going to buy one, for me, I would get the 256. And I really feel like you need 256. There's just so many things that require so much storage. If you shoot 8K video, it's like 600 megabytes per minute, whatever it comes to recording footage. Imagine how fast that fills up, especially when you got the operating system on here. If you're shooting 50 megapixel photos, that's going to take up storage. If you're installing games, all that stuff adds up pretty darn quick. And a lot of people move over stuff from another phone. Like, if you've got a previous phone that's already got 100 gigabytes of storage on it, because you've got all these photos you took, you're going to move all your apps over, all your personal stuff from that phone you used for years. Well, yeah, that's something you need to consider. So I highly recommend the 256 version, but you can get away with this if you don't need that much storage. And then, of course, it's got 7 years of operating system updates and 7 years of security patches. And I can't say this enough for the last few years. Samsung has stepped up, and they really are the number one when it comes to software support. And even now, you look at the S23, it got the One UI 6.1 update the other day, where they took a lot of those smart features we got with the S24, and now they're on the S23 series phones. So if you've got an S23 and you held on this long, I mean, it's just been 2 months. I mean, Samsung said in the keynote that later on this year, like I thought they said second half of the year, but later on in the year, they're like, hey, we're going to go ahead and add some of these features. And really, most of them are there. So yeah, the S23 is still a fantastic phone. But if you're looking for a new one, I know the carriers have all these deals. You know, T-Mobile, AT&T, they're always like, here, get this phone on us. Of course, you got to commit to like 3 years of bill credits for your phone price. But if you're using it on a daily basis, if you're not leaving that carrier, if you've been with AT&T for 10 years, who really cares? It's effectively free. You just got to keep paying for service, which you need anyway. And the modem in here is solid, fantastic, probably the best one you can get on the market today. It has excellent signal, way better than my iPhone. And yeah, I like this phone a lot. I was concerned about switching from my Ultra going to this, but then as I've used it every day, I was even telling my wife, like, I don't really want to switch back. So, I mean, it's nice that I have both of them. I had that option. Most people don't have that option. But sitting here and using it, I'm going out of town, well, by now I've already been out of town, but I went to Fiesta, Texas with my family, and I took this out there, and yeah, I took this. Like, I didn't even feel the need to take my Ultra. So I like it a lot. If that's not enough resounding positive criticism in this video, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a salesman. Like, generally, I buy almost every phone that I get, so I'm not telling you to go out and go buy this. But if you're interested in it, based off my experience as somebody who uses these top-end premium phones, you're just really not missing out on a whole lot, and it's been a really, really positive experience. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, of course, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you like the Samsung content, you're in the right place. I make a lot of it. Hit that like and subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.